Yields back. Chair now recognize Mr. Krishnamoorthi for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Parnas, Rudy Giuliani tasked you with, quote, a mission to travel the globe to find dirt to damage the Biden's reputation in the 2018-2019 timeframe, right?
Correct, yes.
And this was in an effort to secure Trump's
re-election
as president in 2020, right?
Correct, yes.
And by dirt, you mean evidence of wrongdoing or criminality, right?
Yes, sir.
And in your travels, you found, quote, precisely zero proof of the Biden's criminality, right?
Correct.
And there was no evidence of the Biden's corruption in Ukraine because, as you said, there truly was none, right?
Correct, yes, sir.
Now, interestingly, you have looked for dirt around the world about the Bidens, and specifically Joe Biden in particular, and you say the FBI, CIA, NSA have all failed to produce any evidence of criminal wrongdoing, right?
Correct.
Not only that, but former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko stated, quote, there's not a single word of truth to these allegations about Joe Biden, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Now, there's a guy named Yuri Lutsenko, who's the former prosecutor general of Ukraine, and he also, quote, confirmed that nothing ties the Bidens to criminal activity in Ukraine, right?
Correct.
And then there's another prosecutor general named Viktor Shokin, who also said, he conceded, quote, that he had no evidence that either Joe or Hunter Biden had ever interfered with Ukrainian law, right?
Yes, sir.
And the reason you know this is because you talked to each of these people, right?
Yes, sir.
And your job was to try to dig up dirt or manufacture dirt, right?
Yes, sir.
And yet we have conducted months of hearings, and because there's been no evidence of wrongdoing, you've called this whole impeachment inquiry a, quote, wild goose chase, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, interestingly, we've heard from the other side that, quote, the real quid pro quo wasn't Donald Trump. It was Joe Biden when he tried to hold up foreign aid when he was vice president in exchange for firing the federal prosecutor in Ukraine that was investigating the corruption from his son. Now, you, again, looked for evidence to support this claim. There is no evidence, correct?
Correct. That was false.
In fact, firing the prosecutor would make it more likely that they would go after the company in question, Burisma, not less, right?
Well, the ironic part is the reason why majority of the world and Ukraine and the Obama administration wanted to get rid of Viktor Shokin because he was corrupt, not because he was investigating Burisma, because he was stalling investigations for UK that was looking into a $23 million they wanted to get out from Zlochevsky, and Shokin stalled that investigation.
So it was the logic is just the opposite of what the majority claims is to be the case, namely that they say that somehow Joe Biden was out to fire the prosecutor to reduce the chances of a prosecution of Burisma. But actually, in firing that prosecutor, he increased the chances of prosecuting Burisma, right?
Absolutely correct, yes.
So let me just talk to you about what some of the other witnesses in this impeachment inquiry have said. Jonathan Turley, the constitutional expert the Republicans brought forward, said there's no evidence of which he was aware to support impeaching the president. You agree with that, correct?
100%.
Garrett Graves, a colleague of ours, said just last week, quote, have I seen anything that is impeachable? No, I haven't. You agree with that statement as well?
Yes, sir.
Last year, our Republican colleague Ken Buck, who's about to retire, said that evidence of wrongdoing by President Biden, quote, doesn't exist right now. It doesn't exist now. It didn't exist then, right?
That's exactly true, sir.
Sir, how many times have you met Donald Trump?
Well over 10 times, I'd say. I'd have to count, but lots of times.
Is there anything that you'd like to relate to us about your conversations with Donald Trump that would bear on the conduct of these proceedings?
I mean, Donald Trump was aware of everything that was going on that day in the Red Room when we were in the White House. After Rudy bringing Donald Trump up to speed on that I could go out to Ukraine and get Viktor Shokin, Donald Trump approached me, shook my hand, said, thank you for all that you're doing. Keep up the good work, patted me on the back, took pictures, and I was off to Ukraine.
To meet with Viktor Shokin?
To find Viktor Shokin, to bring him back here to meet with Lindsey Graham.
Got it. Thank you so much. I yield back.
Thank you.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Cloud from Texas for 5 minutes.